Welcome to this explainer. If you've ever stared blankly at your screen, feeling completely lost trying to format an HTML table for a practical exam, well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to take all that frustrating, tangled code and turn it into a dead simple step-by-step blueprint. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to structure your grids and expertly merge cells so you can lock in those guaranteed marks. Let's just dive right in, shall we?
So here's our game plan for today. We'll start with the HTML table blueprint, move into core architecture and tags, then look at attributes for perfect rendering. After that, we're tackling Colspan and Rowspan, the crucial golden table rule, and finally, application and portal logging.
All right, part one, the HTML table blueprint, securing guaranteed marks. Okay, take a look at this quote straight from the source material. Tables are a staple of almost every NIELIT practical paper. Right? This actually highlights a massive missed opportunity that I see all the time. Students are just constantly throwing away easy, predictable points by ignoring basic table structures. And honestly, these structures are quite literally the foundation for almost every practical coding challenge you're going to face. It's wild.
So, as we transition from nested lists into this Day 04 bootcamp material, you're firing up that code editor for a topic that pays serious dividends. Getting this blueprint down cold, it's your ticket to building everything from super basic student grade sheets to those crazy, highly complex merged schedules. Trust me, it's an incredible investment in your foundational coding skills. Moving on to part 2, core architecture and tags, deconstructing the grid. Now, notice how this hierarchy maps out visually here. It all starts with that big, blue outer boundary, right? That's the main table container itself. From there, it systematically slices that container into distinct horizontal rows and then chops those down further into the individual green data cells. It's actually elegantly simple when you look at it like this. It's literally just a box inside another box. To make absolutely sure we're on the same page, before we get into the weeds, let's lock down these core acronyms. TR stands for table row. That creates the horizontal slices of your grid. Next up is TH, or table header. This one's great because it creates a cell where the text is bold and centered right out of the box, which is just perfect for your column titles. And finally, TD is table data. That's the tag doing the heavy lifting, holding all your standard everyday information inside the grid.
All right, part 3. Attributes for perfect rendering, designing for older engines.
Okay, look closely at the modern default on the left. If you just type a plain old table tag today, modern browsers will actually strip out the borders, leaving you with this confusing, floating jumble of text. And here's the kicker, relying on that modern default will literally fail you on the exam. Older grading engines don't like it. So, to get that crisp, exam-ready render you see over on the right, you absolutely have to hard-code specific attributes. I'm talking about specifying a border, setting your cell padding to give the text some breathing room, tweaking cell spacing, and setting a width, like 100%, so the table accurately fills the screen. You can't skip this step.
Which brings us to part 4, mastering Colspan and Rowspan, the examiner favorite.
So conceptually, before we even peek at the syntax, we need to totally separate the two distinct ways you can merge cells. Make sense? First, you have horizontal cell expansion. That's where you stretch a single cell sideways across multiple columns. And second, there's vertical cell expansion, where you stretch a cell downward so it eats up space across multiple rows. Getting these two mixed up in your head? That is an absolute guarantee for a completely shattered layout.
Let's look at exactly how we pulled this off. On the left, expanding horizontally uses the attribute Colspan. It's combining columns horizontally, strictly within a single row tag. Over on the right, expanding vertically uses Rowspan. This one actually pulls cells together vertically, reaching downwards across multiple row tags. So just remember, Colspan goes across, Rowspan goes down. Simple as that.
Now I want you to treat this diagnostic matrix like your ultimate cheat sheet for exam day. It lays out the whole shebang perfectly. It shows how Colspan moves horizontally, affecting cells within the exact same TR tag, making it an absolute must for those wide-spanning table titles. And conversely, it breaks down how Rowspan moves vertically, affecting cells in subsequent TR tags below it. You'd use Rowspan when you need to group shared categories together vertically, like a single subject heading that spans across 3 or 4 different mark entries.
Okay, part 5, the golden table rule, prevent broken layouts. This is the big one.
Look really closely at the wrong way schematic on the left here. This is exactly what happens when you confidently add a Colspan of 2, but totally ignore the physical mechanics of the grid. If you fail to account for the cells you're merging, it physically breaks the layout. It literally forcefully pushes the adjacent cells straight out the right side of the grid. The data becomes unreadable, it looks super sloppy, and yeah, no surprise, it will cost you heavy marks. You have to make room for the expansion.
So, here is the absolute golden formula you must burn into your brain. If you span 2 cells, you must compensate by deleting 1 adjacent cell in your HTML. If you span 3 cells, you delete 2 adjacent cells. Basically, your spanning cell is eating up the physical space of its neighbors, so those neighbors have to be explicitly, deliberately deleted from your code to keep the whole grid perfectly balanced. It's a zero-sum game.
Let's bring it all together in Part 6, Application and Portal Logging, Theory and Practice.
Right here in these live demo outputs, you can really see the magic happening. Check out the timetable schematic on the left. That horizontal call span is expertly applied to create this wide lunch break that just flows beautifully across all 5 days of the week. Really clean. And on the right, in the marksheet schematic, that vertical row span is perfectly grouping the shared science category for physics, chemistry, and biology. This kind of tight, visual organization, this is exactly what examiners are hunting for.
So, to absolutely guarantee maximum portal marks on exam day, you just need a reliable workflow. Follow this master blueprint every single time. Step 1, initialize your standard HTML5 boilerplate structure. Step 2, define your table element with those vital border, padding, and width attributes we talked about. Step 3, construct your header rows using those TH tags. Step 4, implement the standard data rows very carefully, dropping in your calculated call spans and row spans while strictly obeying that golden rule. And finally, Step 5, save your file and always verify the output visually in a browser before hitting submit.
We're going to wrap up today's explainer with a hands-on exercise directly from the source material. This is the Day 04 homework, the Marksheet Challenge. Because let's be real, practice makes perfect, and this blueprint provides the exact constraints you need to pressure test your new skills in a totally realistic scenario.
So, here's your final challenge. You need to create a table with 4 columns. Task A requires you to merge the top header across all 4 columns to display Student Academic Report using a Colspan of 4. Then, Task B requires you to vertically merge 1 student subject rows using a row span of 2. Now, keeping the golden rule fresh in your mind, how exactly would you write the missing code to pull this off without totally shattering your layout? Think very carefully about which adjacent cells you are going to need to delete. Take this challenge head-on, test it out in your editor, and prove your mastery. So are you ready to build the perfect grid? Good luck, and keep coding.